Good morning, students. Today's topic is physiology of digestion. So, physiology of digestion, the movement of the food in the gastrointestinal tract and the digestion are under neuroendocrinal control. Okay, so the nervous system and the hormones play a very important role in the secretion of digestive enzymes. So here is the neural control which you can see here. So this is of two types, intrinsic and extrinsic inversions. So here you can see that there are again two types, Arbach plexus and the Meissner's plexus. So one of the Arbach plexus between the outer longitudinal and the inner circular muscle layers it is found, and the second called as Meissner's plexus lies in between the submucosa and the circular muscles. Okay, so you then the extrinsic you have, that is the autonomous nervous system, that already we all know about it. So then you can see that there is a parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic branches that would take place. Arbach plexus is going to give rise to the peristalsis. So what do you mean by peristalsis? Peristalsis is a reflex response of stretching by the gut wall when the food is in the lumen. The stretching causes the contractions of the region before it and relaxations of the region after the food passes through it. So this allows the passage of the food. Okay, so then the exocrine and the endocrine secretions are happening, that we will discuss in this particular class for today. Okay, so also I would like to tell you all, see, the saliva contains the enzymes, lysosomes and palatin. Now the salivation is mainly under the control of the nervous system. So this saliva which is containing all these enzymes is very much required. So salivation is basically under the control of the nervous system. So that what nervous system? It is actually the parasympathetic nervous system, or the stimulations is required for the secretion of the saliva, which is going to help in the lubrication and the mixing up of the food to make it easy for the swallowing. Correct. So that's how the the parasympathetic and sympathetic branches are involved in the digestion. So parasympathetic is all as we have shown in here in the flow chart, increases the contractions of the smooth muscles, and the sympathetic branches will decrease the contractions of the smooth muscles. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. So I'll come back to this functions a little later. So here is the cephalic phase. So basically the regulation of the gastric secretions, or the the hormones control of the secretion of the gastric juice from the gastric glands, and the contractions and the relaxations of the muscles in the walls of the stomach, they are involved in the three different phases. Okay, so the first phase is the cephalic phase that we are going to deal with today. See, the cephalic phase is the stimuli is nothing but the sense of smell. That's what here it is shown in the diagram, which you can see very clearly: sight, smell, taste or thoughts of the food. So well, if you can just imagine the food, or if you see a food items, or if you smell the very nice food, then you would really feel like that is how it is a stimuli for your nervous system. You imagine the food item, isn't it? As soon as you smell that, you imagine it, because you have beforehand experienced that particular food, smell, taste and sight of it. So the centers of the cerebral cortex and feeding center of the hypothalamus is getting stimulated because of the the stimulus which is given by the eyes, nose or the tongue. So the stimuli is sent to the medulla, and the from the medulla, that you can see, the message is sent through the vagus nerve to the intrinsic innervation, and the stimulations of parasympathetic nerves will occur. So henceforth, what is going to happen? There is a contractions of the smooth muscles and the secretions of the gastric juice and the gas from the gastric gland. It is going to take place. So see here, all this see the gastrin is being secreted because there is the G cells are getting stimulated by the if you can see that the stimulation is happening by the red color things, red color lines. Okay, so all those stimulations are happening, henceforth there is a secretions of the gastrin. Okay, this is what is the cephalic phase. Okay, so the sympathetic is just opposite of that. Okay, parasympathetic, we know that there is a stimulation and the contractions is happening, henceforth there is a secretion of the gastric juices. But what is this sympathetic? It is the reverse. If they don't want to secrete it, then the parasympathetic is going to work out, henceforth it is going to just have the opposite effect on it. Okay, so then the gastric phase, the sympathetic stimulation also, when is it's going to occur? This happens when the person is anxious, tensed or stressed, hunger, angry, or even afraid. Okay, at that particular situations, the sympathetic nervous system is going to come into picture, henceforth there is no secretions of gastric juices as such, because there is another functions which is going on. Next is the gastric phase. So the gastric phase here is clearly shows us what and all are the stimulations which is happening. The stimulations is distension of the stomach and change in the pH. So the chemoreceptors and the stretch receptors in the lining of the stomach, the lining of the stomach are going to send the signals to the submucosal plexus. The stimulation is going to occur for the G cells and the parasympathetic nerves, resulting in the production of the gastrin and the stimulation of the Arbach plexus, which is going to result in the peristalsis. So you already know that. See, the stimulations is occurring for the G cells, chief cells, parietal cells, mucosal cells or the submucosal cells, which is going to result in the secretion of the gastric juices and increases in the peristalsis. Okay, then after which if there is a decrease in the pH, that is the food is more acidic, the food is pushed through the pyloric sphincter. So it is just pushed through the pyloric sphincter to the intestine. Okay, so this is how the waves or the mixing of the waves is going to happen here. And then the stimulations is occurring here. See, here are the receptors which is going to sense the food has entered, and then the pH is being maintained here. If the pH is becoming low due to the pH HCl, pepsinogen and the mucus. So if the decrease in the pH, then the food is pushed through the pyloric sphincter. So when the chyme enters into the duodenum, okay, so the presence of the fatty acids and the glucose stimulate the endocrine cells in the lining of the small intestine. So when the food has entered into the duodenum, now the next phase, that is intestinal phase. Okay, that is here. Okay, so what is going to happen? The stimulation of the endocrine cells in the lining of the small intestine, the endocrine cells releases the gastric inhibitory peptide hormone, secretin hormone, and cholecystokinin, pancreozymin hormone, that is CCK hormone is released. Okay, CCK, secretin. So, and also along with that, vasoactive intestinal polypeptide is also going to be released. So here are the hormones which is going to be released. Henceforth, there is an intestinal phase is going to begin. So how exactly the intestinal phase is getting stimulated? That is in the increase in the acidic content. As we have told already, the decrease in the pH is nothing but the increased pH or the increased acidity content. So the stimulations for the S cells is given to secrete the secretin, and pancreas and the liver are stimulated to produce the pancreatic juices and bile juices, and so that they can increase the pH, so that the alkalinity increases. Okay, so the alkalinity need to be increased because there is a more of acid in the food content. Henceforth, this is going to occur. Okay, so and the hormone CCK here is going to play a very important role. See, it is going to, the CCK is being circulates in the blood for about 5 minutes. What is going to happen? The major functions is going to occur, that it causes the contractions of the gallbladder to release the bile. It causes the acin of pancreas to secrete the pancreatic juices containing the enzymes, that is the cells of pancreas to produce the pancreatic juices. It causes the constrictions of the pyloric sphincter to avoid the backflow of the chyme, so that the food does not enter again back to the stomach. It causes the secretion of the glucagon also. Okay, so the stimulus for this particular CCK production is, the stimuli is partly digested food, that is the chyme which is entering, that can be a stimulus for the CCK production, and the amino acids, peptides and the fatty acids which are present in the food is also can be a stimulus for the CCK for the production. Okay, so then this stimulates the eye cells or the cells which are there here, that is intestinal cells, which is going to secrete the CCK. Okay, so then you can also see that we have another certain hormones. Okay, here is the full complete picture which I have already dealt with right now. The cephalic phase we have, that is with a vagus nerve, and you have parasympathetic plexus and its functions, how the pepsin and the acidic production is going to occur, and then you have a gastric phase, and then you have an intestinal phase too. So all together simultaneously, if you can see here, this is a picture of the vagus, the center of the medulla oblongata. As soon as you see the food, or you smell the food, or you taste the food, there is the signals which is going to be sent to the submucosal walls of the stomach. Henceforth secretes the fibers. You have all the plexus which is going to give the stimulus for the complete wall of the stomach. Henceforth there is a secretions of the all the hormones and the enzymes respectively for the digestion of the food materials. Okay, so you have one second. So next, along with that, what and all are the hormones that we would like to mention apart from these processes? Okay, so apart from these processes, we have certain other hormones which are going to actually help in the production of the involved in the digestion. Okay, so the involvement of the digestion here is, the first hormone which we have already I have told you here is enterogastron. Intestinal mucosa is the origin of that particular hormone, from which the hormone is being released, which is going to inhibit the gastric acid secretions. So it is going to inhibit that. Okay, so if more of gastric acid is produced, this is the hormone enterogastron which is going to inhibit it. Okay, then you have neurotensin, which is the origin of the mucosa of the ileum. Okay, which is going to inhibit the gastrointestinal motility. Okay, that's action of which is the inhibition of the motility. Okay, and then you have gastrin releasing peptide, which is present in the neurons of the vagus nerve, that ends in the G cells, as I mentioned here, which is going to stimulate the gastric secretions, or which is going to help in the secretions of the gastric juices. Then you have the somatostatin produced by the D cells of the islets of Langerhans and the similar cells of the gastrointestinal mucosa, which inhibits the secretion of the gastrin. Not only the secretion of gastrin, which also helps in the vasoactive intestinal polypeptide and the gastric intestinal polypeptide, gastrointestinal polypeptide, and the motilin. Okay, motilin is also one kind of an hormone which is going to be originated from the duodenal mucosa. Its action is just to for the contractions of the intestinal muscles, and also regulates the interdigestive motility. Okay, so the motilin is one of the other hormone. It inhibits the secretions of the pancreatic juices and bile, which is going to inhibit the pancreas secretions of the pancreatic juice and the bile. That is the stomatostatin. That is what we are talking about. Okay, so the stomatostatin is going to absorb, which is going to help in the absorption of the glucose, amino acids, and the triglycerides. Okay, so the next one is the glucagon. Glucagon is being secreted by the A cells of the stomach, okay, and duodenum, and by the alpha cells of the pancreas also. That is pancreas, islets of pancreas. Then you have its function is to secrete the bile and the gastric juice. Okay, glucagon is going to help in the secretion of the gastric juice and the bile juice. Then you have guanilin, wherein it is going to help in the production of the, or it is being produced by the cells of the crypts of Leberkuhn, wherein it regulates the secretions of the chlorine by the intestinal epithelial cells. Pancreatic polypeptide produced by the P cells and the pancreas, which slows down the absorptions of the amino acids. So here is all the hormones which are going to be useful, which are involved in the digestion. Okay, as we mentioned, there is the three phases: cephalic phase, gastric phase, and the intestinal phase. Apart from that, what and all are the hormones that is involved in the digestion, which I have mentioned a little earlier. Okay, so here ends up your topic about the the physiology of the digestion, wherein I have taken only as you have to answer in your exams. Okay, how to write a concise answer. So this is how you can just specify the cephalic phase, gastric phase, and the intestinal phase, and along with that the hormones. This is not sufficient for you to write down in your exam. Okay, so here ends up your topic. If you have any doubts, you can write it in the comment section. If you have understood and if you have liked the video, then please like the video and comment for it, and subscribe for it also. Okay, thank you. See you soon with the next topic.